Coach, you had a great quote the other day, and from Dylan Cruz when he told you, he said, "You're really going to find out how good your team is after the first loss of the season." I think you said this a couple of days ago in an interview, and I thought that hit home for me because I think that's an unbelievable way to kind of evaluate a team. Right? You're really good when you're winning, but like you said, once you face adversity, how do you overcome that? And you don't really face that until you have that first loss. And so. To me that was a great quote. And I think it's a great way to kind of judge a team.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's a reason he is who he is. It's got exceptional talent, but the character and makeup thing's off the charts. One of my favorite players I've ever coached in my entire life because of stuff like that. And it was interesting. It was just like this casual conversation last year. And he's like, "You'll know after you lose a game." And then he goes, "You remember when we lost to Iowa?" And I was like, "Yeah, Brody Brecht was throwing like 107 miles an hour with like a 95 mile an hour slider. It's like, how do we land on this guy, in like the sixth game of the season?" But the next day, we beat Sam Houston State like 18-3, who was like a regional team. He's like, "You remember when we came out?" I was like, "Yeah, I do remember that game very well." And he's like, "That's when you'll know." He's like, "That's when I knew we had something beyond just talent." And I was like, all right. And then I actually used that when we lost our first game last year because they all know Dylan, respect Dylan, love Dylan. And then how they responded to that, we won the next game 12-0 and then rattled off 17 wins in a row.